Welcome back to Grief Inspired. My name is Catherine McNulty, and today we are going to talk about the number one thing that your grief should teach you. Grief creates change. I'm sure that if you're undergoing grief right now, you can look around and you can see the magnitude of change that you're experiencing. So much about your life changes the moment you find out that one of your loved ones is gone, or you're with your loved one and they pass away. Change is scary. Change is hard. There's a lot that shifts about our life, and not knowing exactly what the future holds can create a lot of fear. And that's why I produce all the content I do to help you through that fear. That's why I've created the grief journal to help you walk through some of that. And it's why I've created my grief courses. And next one starts March 6th of 2022. So if you want to jump into that, you certainly can. And I would love to have you there and support you through your own grief journey. But when we talk about the number one thing that your grief should teach you, I think that this is an opportunity to look at what you're going through and to see what you're learning, because there is no way to get through your grief without growth. Now, you can say stuck, and if you're staying stuck, then you're not growing. And you should definitely reach out to me if you feel stuck, because I want to help. But the reality is that going through the grief process is going to cause change, and it's going to force you to grow. It's going to force you to evolve. And so when we talk about, what's the number one thing that it should teach you? It should teach you the reality that we are all going to pass on at some point, you yourself and the people that you love. And the thing that you need to know about that is that there are still people around you. You still have time left. So the number one thing to remember is that you are still here. The fact that you are still here, whether you believe that God has let you live here, is keeping you here, if God created you or not, the reality is that you still have time. And if you're still living, and if you're still breathing, and your heart is beating, you have more work to do. And so what does that mean? You have more time to talk to the people around you. You have more time to say the things that need to be said. Do you have relationships that have hurts that need to be resolved? Are there things that other people have done to hurt you that are weighing heavy on your heart that you need to release? Are there people that you've stopped talking to? Have you said all you need to say to your children, to your parents, to your friends? The number one thing that grief should teach you is that you have an opportunity, that if you are still here, that if your heart is still beating and you're still breathing, that you can still say what needs to be said. And when we talk about all of the guilt and things that we have with the people that have already passed on, a lot of that can have to do with the things we did, the things we didn't do, or the things that maybe we didn't clear up. So you have the opportunity to clear these things up, to say what needs to be said. Or maybe it's just spending more time. Maybe it's not even that big. Maybe it's just saying, you know what? I don't visit my parents enough. I don't spend enough quality time with my children because I'm busy all the time, and I need to learn to focus and dedicate time to them off of my phone, off of my electronics. I know I work on that. So there's an opportunity to create something new in your life and to use the change in your favor. So the number one thing that grief should teach you is that there is still time. That although your loved one is gone, that you still have a life to live, that there are more chapters to your story, and that you have the opportunity to write that next chapter for you. So my question for you as we leave this video is, what is it that you want or need to create?